Hello and welcome to the BWF Dubai World Superseries Finals. It's a great time of year to be in the stunning city of Dubai, a city that lies on the crossroads of the East and the West, known for its spectacular modern architecture and sunny climate. Dubai also has a rich traditional Arabian identity. It's little wonder Dubai attracts over 10 million tourists every year. Well, all this week we're at the magnificent Hamdan Sports Complex, originally designed as a world-class swimming arena. It has a capacity of 15,000 and has been adapted to host several major sporting events, including tennis, basketball, and of course, for a second straight year, the season-ending badminton finale, the Super Series finals. With the serious business of the competition only starting today, that gave some of our stars the opportunity to take in some of the sights and sounds of Dubai. Some discovered snow in the desert. Others decided to take in more of the traditional side of the city, a ride on an arbra, a traditional boat. Meanwhile, the Europeans went straight to the top of the world's tallest building, the magnificent Burj Khalifa. The last year's women's singles champion Tai Su Ying soared even higher, enjoying a bird's eye view of the city. Well, as far as this tournament is concerned, 8 players or pairs have qualified for these Super Series finals in each of the 5 disciplines. Those 8 are divided into 2 groups of 4. Everybody plays everyone else within the group, and it's only the top 2 from each of those groups who progress through to the semi-finals, at which stage the competition becomes a straight knockout contest. Well, just a couple of days before the start of competition at these Super Series finals, the draw was held to decide which players would be in which of the 2 groups in each of the 5 disciplines. Overseen by BWF Events Director Darren Parks, it threw up some mouth-watering contests in these group stages, one of which saw the current women's singles world champion and current world number 1, Carolina Marin, being placed in the same group as India's former world number 1 and current world number 2, Saina Nehwal. Well, it is some magnificent matches we've got lined up for you today, 6 of them. And we start with men's doubles. Endo and Hayakawa, beaten finalists 3 years ago, up against the reigning world champions, Mohammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan. Then we've got women's singles and the 2013 world champion, Ratchanok Intanon, up against last year's beaten finalist here at the Super Series finals, Sung Ji-hyun of Korea. Then we've got men's doubles and the defending champions and current world number 1s, Lee Yong-dae and Yu Young-sung, up against Fu Haifeng and Zhang Nang, who've been in 4 Super Series tournament finals this year. And then women's doubles, a repeat of the World Championship final, the European champions Pedersen and Ruta Yul against the world and Olympic champions Tiang Qing and Xiao Yunlei. Then men's singles, Momoto against Srikanth, and we finish with Okuhara against Saina Nehwal. So, a great lineup for our first day here at the Super Series finals. Let's go courtside and join our MC, Howard Bentham, to get the players onto the court for the first of our matches.
This is the Dubai World Super Series finals. Please welcome our players for this afternoon's matches. First, onto court 1 for a men's doubles match. Please welcome, representing Japan, the number 3 seeds, Hiroyuki Endo and Kenichi Hayakawa. Indonesia, it's Mohammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan.
So here come the reigning world champions, in fact, two-time world champions, Mohammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan. Winners of the Super Series finals 2 years ago when the event was staged in Kuala Lumpur. So making their third appearance at the Super Series finals as a doubles combination. Of course, both have played previously in the Super Series finals with previous partners.
Grease, yellow and green. Yellow. Green. Service. Hayakawa. Ahsan.
So the toss of the coin and the first decision, which ends the players, will start. So the number 3 seeds, Hiroyuki Endo and Kenichi Hayakawa, against the world champions Mohammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan. So, as far as the Japanese pair are concerned, they are the number 3 seeds, the number 6 in the world ranking, and they qualified as number 3 on the Super Series standings. Kenichi Hayakawa, he's 29 years of age, and Hiroyuki Endo will turn 29 in exactly 1 week's time, next Wednesday. Well, as far as their Super Series this year was concerned, they played all 12 tournaments, 4 semi-finals, and it's the first time in 4 years that they haven't reached a Super Series tournament final throughout the calendar year. So to their opponents, Mohammad Ahsan, 28 years of age, from Palembang in South Sumatra. Hendra Setiawan, 31, from the ancient city of Malang. And they have a world ranking at the moment of number 2, but they finished 5 on the Super Series standing, only playing 11 of the 12 Super Series tournament. They missed out of the India Super Series event. So 11 tournaments, 1 title, winning the Malaysian Super Series, that one of the premier events. Now, as you can see, this is the 9th meeting between these two pairs. And if you're a Japanese fan, you will be fairly disappointed by that statistic, because the Japanese pair have never beaten their opponents of today. So the umpire for this one, Jitaru Tanukarapat of Thailand, Diraj Gunadre of Mauritius, the service judge. Well, I'm Jill Clark, delighted to say that sitting alongside me is former Danish head coach Steen Petersen. You've been with me for all of the Super Series this year, all the premier events, and certainly when you and I looked at that head-to-head matchup, 8-0, we certainly, I know we've spoken very highly of the Indonesian pair, but that is a little ominous for the Japanese.
Yeah, tough match for the Japanese, but one time's got to be the first time they beat them, so what better opportunity than to do it here in Dubai.
So it will be the Japanese pair nearest to us as we get underway. This is...
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Hiroyuki Endo and Kenichi Hayakawa, Japan. And on my left, Mohammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan, Indonesia. Kenichi Hayakawa to serve to Mohammad Ahsan. Love all, play.
So the number 3 seeds, Endo and Hayakawa of Japan, nearest to us, against the reigning world champions, Mohammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan. Oh, it's all good.
Service over.
Well, what a magnificent
1-4.
shot from Mohammad Ahsan.
Service over. 2-1.
Four!
3-1.
Yeah, that's nicely done from
4-1.
Hayakawa. Using these little blocks on the defensive play, just guiding it into the open space. Very, very effective. Oh yes, that's nice.
Service over. 2-4.
Former Olympic champion, of course, Hendra Setiawan won the gold medal in Beijing in 2008, playing with Marcus Kido.
3-4. Service over. 5-3.
Denny Cantona, Indonesian coach.
Service over. 4-5.
Well, Steen, I'm going to ask the impossible question here, because obviously the Japanese pair haven't found a way to win against these Indonesians so far. What, in your opinion, do they need to do to break that run and to record their first victory?
Yeah, it's difficult. We know that the Indonesians, they're so good in the service situation and are very often able to control the rallies with their attacking style. I think it's important for the Japanese to
Service over.
get a good defense going, but not a defensive defense, so to speak. It has to be a defense where they search for the possibilities, try to change the defense to attack and be successful in that. But it's easier said than done, because they tend to go all out, Ahsan and Setiawan, in their attacking play. And they're very, very hard to cover, because they're not afraid to go, for instance, for the all cross-court smashes. Excellent drop shot there.
Service over. 6-all.
Yeah, it's great combination play, isn't it?
7.
And we've
6.
talked so many times about Hendra Setiawan's ability from the front of the court, the way he reads the shuttle. But I'm seeing more and more this Indonesian pair switching that formation round, and Mohammad Ahsan, just like that.
Exactly.
No problem going forward and really trying to take the initiative at the front of the court.
And I think it's really important for the Indonesians to become stronger in the sort of opposite position where Setiawan is at the back and Ahsan at the net. And they have a good chance of practicing it here, because there's not a lot of drift in this stadium here. Almost ideal playing conditions. And the reason that I think it's important is because I think the strength of the men's doubles is very dependable on the how well you function in your opposite role. I mean, Setiawan, of course, very, very strong at the net, but how well does he function as a backcourt player?
Yeah.
Of course, he does really, really well, but that's compared to the other top pairings that they're competing with.
Yes, that just emphasises the point, really, doesn't it? That, you know, you win as a pair, you lose as a pair, and you can have one outstanding player. Oh, service fault called. Struck above the waist.
Service over.
Says our service judge,
9,
Raj
8.
Gunadri of Mauritius. Well, certainly not the worst I've seen. Oh, that was nice. Yeah, it was the block, wasn't it, Steve,
Yeah.
that turned the rally around.
10, 8.
Look at that. That's delightful. And then a half smash. And then the power play. But it's the variation in pace, variation in angle that really does the damage. Ooh, that's clever. Yeah, it's a nice
Service
idea.
over.
Wrong execution.
9, 10.
A little scratch of the head. How did I miss that? Yeah, there was a big gap, wasn't there? Yeah, it was definitely the right shot to try. Nice. Pressure
Service
on the
over.
return of
11,
serve.
9, interval.
And then the Japanese players couldn't get it away from the net player. And a simple put away. 2-point advantage at the mid-game interval from the world champions. 11-9. Just 7 minutes of play.
Yang depannya jangan terlalu agak ke depan. Paling dia kalau progresif kan kalau lagi kalau ngangkat yang depannya tadi keburu ambis
Great Park Jubal, taller of the two coaches. Really has masterminded a resurgence in Japanese badminton.
Play. Service over. 10-11.
Well, last year, of course, this Indonesian pair only lasted for 7 minutes in the tournament in the very first match of their group against GrpA and Hong Wei, who went on to reach the final. They had to retire injured, so we know that Mohammad Ahsan has had terrible back injury problems, but I've thought, Steen, over the last 2 or 3 Super Series events, they've been looking pretty good again.
Yeah, they had a little fallout. French Open, I think it was, where they lost to the Danish #2 pair.
Yeah, but that was the semi-final.
Yeah, so they've been reasonably consistent, and as we saw them winning the World Championship, I guess they must be some of the favourites to take this tournament as well.
Yeah,
provided that they're healthy.
10.
Oh, my
Yeah, that's
goodness.
well played.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the
Service
situations
over.
where the Japanese, they probably need to improve a little bit, because there were some chances
11,
earlier in the rally,
14.
not big chances, but where you sensed that Setiawan was not going all out in his attack. The Japanese pair needs to pick up on this and move the defense a little bit forward in order to score some easy points.
Oh, yes, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Service
Combination
over.
play.
15.
And Mohammad
11.
Ahsan just proving what we were talking about a little earlier. How he's now very, very confident and very adept at the front court region.
Yeah, and a great smash from Setiawan. Great placement to the backhand. Actually to the forehand side, but it was a backhand return from Endo, and that makes it much more likely that it comes straight back.
Service over. 12-15.
Interesting, another flick serve, this time not called. Well, it didn't gain any advantage, did it? Look, he leaps from that ready position at the front of the court to play the smash off the flick serve.
They're so strong in that service situation, both when serving and when returning to Indonesians. And they think that perhaps they're like 5-10% better than their opponents. So in the end, they will prevail if they continue to challenge there. Sometimes they make easy mistakes, or it seems like easy mistakes, but it's just a cool calculation saying it pays off to take these chances in the service situation. Get a lot of easy points. This one, too short though.
13-16.
Yes.
Service over.
Well, it does raise the question, what do you do
13.
in the service situation against these Indonesians? You serve it low like that one, they put pressure on you. You tried the flick, the rally before, and that gets thumped.
And there's a lot of tactical things that are being studied ahead of this. If you put a lot of pressure on your opponent, on the front court player, on the back court player, if you target the forehand side or the backhand side, you know that if you, for instance, target the backhand side, there's a higher probability that it will go to either your left side or your right side, depending on which opponent you're playing. And the players, they
Service over. 14.
I won't say they have all the stats with them, but they have the more important stats. And something is actually natural that, okay, if you play the backhand side of the backcourt player in the service situation now, for instance, if Ahsan targets Endo, there's a good chance that it will go cross. There we saw the same situation, the cross smash from Setiawan to the
14.
right side of Hiroyuki Endo, and
but
probability is the right pickup.
Yeah, but it's even more sort of accurate than that, isn't it? It's towards that right hip of Endo. And it's so difficult to get the shuttle away from that position. Oh, behind the back. A little bit of trickery there, didn't work.
15-19.
Well, apart from the very, very early stages, the Japanese pair have always been playing catch-up. Oh, yes. It's another one across the body.
Yeah, it's
Service
actually a
over.
very convincing lead for
20,
Ahsan and Setiawan,
game
because they
point,
normally
16.
play close games with a number of pairings. It's not unusual that they win a game by just 2 points.
Some game point opportunities, 4 of them, for the world champions. It's a nice idea, but gone wide.
Service over, 17-20.
Second time of asking.
First game won by Mohammad, Ahsan and Hendra, Setiawan.
21-17. 16 minutes of play.
Banyak poinnya tuh dari main panjang ya, main panjang. Ya, sekarang barangkali mereka kalau ada nettingnya, bukannya netting kecil, aku waspada aja. Ya, sama solusinya juga. Kalau mereka ngangkat, siap-siap ya. Kalau tadi kan sama lu banyak itu kan, banyak kena ditepak. Karena barangkali mereka angkat, jaga-jaga netting. Ya, banyak main panjangnya itu kalau lagi buat serang, jangan tangan kalau jadi mati, panjang dulu, yang depan deh siap kayak tadi lagi. Ya, siap kayak tadi lagi. Kalau kena taruh dulu, kalau nanti taruh dulu. Kalau misalnya separohnya bisa diambil, ambil lagi. Ya, tapi kan sekarang kalau misalnya kalah.
テクニックっていうのは羽を抱えてロープからスタートね、羽を動く羽ね、とりあえず今相手のアッパーサービスで3番目、もうここはあんまり少ないから、それぐらい自分がこっちでドライブをしたり、2回ぐらいちょっと甘い可能性もあるですよ、決勝。この上で次のちょっとだけリカバリーレシピだけをちょっと頑張って、見てるはまだもう一回レンズできるでしょってつけていくってね、今の羽とはないんだ。もちろんハードランのレンズはいいですけど。
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Second game.
So the former champions,
Level play.
Mohammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan, 1 game to the good in this Group A encounter.
Service over.
The defending champions, Li
One
Yongdae
love.
and Yu Young-sung, and also Fu Haifeng and Zhang Nang, the other 2 pairs in this group. That's nice. Seems like a nothing shot, doesn't it, Steam? But it's actually very effective because you just tap the shuttle in a downward direction, you know, and it makes it awfully difficult for the net player, but it would have landed way in front of the rear court player.
Yeah, that's right. And that's
Service over.
how men's doubles has
1,
developed
2.
over the last couple of years, that there's a lot of shots that seem easy but are really, really difficult to execute with the right quality. A lot of focus is being put on the,
Service
of course,
over.
the services, but also the
3,
return
1.
of service. This little just touch of the racket that puts the shuttle below the net court. It's so important. It's so difficult to master, especially if you're a little tense in the end of games.
Yeah, it's a good serve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm convinced that the Japanese pair need to do more of that, take more initiative in the rally. They've been too reactive so far.
Yeah. I mean, most of the men's doubles players and some of the coaches that I talk to, they recognize that the Indonesians are really, really good in the attack, and they're quick on their feet, especially Ahsan, good in the service situation. But the defense is quite human, actually.
Oh. Oh, goodness me.
3-4.
The least said about that, the better. I think he must have changed his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Service over.
Whole different body language in that rally
5-3.
from Hayakawa. Oh my goodness.
Service over.
That was a big swing.
Yeah. Did I speak too soon?
Look at the swing on the last one. Way too much arm. You can't afford to swing your arm that much at the net. There's
No time.
no time. Either it goes long or it goes into the net, and then once in a while it looks really, really good because you kill it convincingly.
That's a good rally. Oh, gone long.
5-all.
The great Park Jibong.
Out.
Seemed
Service
to rush
over.
that, didn't he?
6-5.
Setiawan.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
that's unusual to see a service that's wide by that much.
I think the big difference as I'm watching this
7,
scene
6.
between these two pairs, when the Indonesians get a man forward, that man gets really involved
Yeah.
and makes the difference in the rally. Whereas the Japanese, yes, there maybe has a player intercept at the net, but they're not finishing it off. They're just sort of keeping the rally going.
Yeah, and they're not comfortable in that role. And of course, Kenichi Hayakawa is a little bit more comfortable than his partner because that's his role to move forward. But he's not as comfortable as the two Indonesians, and you would say that they are more natural. I prefer to say that they've practiced it more. They've done a bit more thinking. You see that smash again across his body, and there's a lot of chances occurring there.
Look at that from Setiawan.
9,
My
6.
goodness me. First of all, he takes a smash off his right hip and plays the perfect block.
And that proves
Look at
your
that.
point, Jill.
Yeah.
That Endo Hayakawa, he had Hiroyuki Endo, he had a big chance at the net. And you can just imagine if that chance had been executed by either Ahsan or Setiawan, then definitely the opponents wouldn't be able to come back in that rally.
Service over. 7-9.
Oh, what a good serve. Oh, it's gone off his hip again. But it's interesting,
9.
that's where the Japanese are aiming. Right hip of Hendra Setiawan.
Service over. 10-8.
Oh, I think that was short as well.
11-8 interval.
No. 3-point advantage to the world champions. Yeah, I think it may have been short as well. Well, once you're committed to playing it, you really have to play it.
Yeah, there's not always time to really judge whether it's too short or it's okay.
Panjang-panjangin ya. Terus kalau mereka rubah net, rubah netting terus di atas ini cara yang ngeting juga dia. Terus taruh terus. Ya, yang kendor. Terus
Court 1 20 seconds. Court 1 20 seconds.
지시 못해 있고 지시 못해. 이거.
Play. Twelve, 8.
Oh, yes. Now, that's one of the rare
Service
occasions
over.
that they have made the interception
9,
count.
12.
Yeah. First on the backhand, then from the forehand from Hayakawa.
When we see it in slow, we can almost see the difference between Hayakawa, who's even the best of the Japanese players in intercepting it, and the Indonesians. The Indonesians, they are believing that it's going to come there. Whereas you can see the... Oh, what a great shot.
Yeah.
Great deception there. Just turns his racket in the nick of time. Here it comes again. Yeah. All of his other movements are towards the right corner, but then twist the blade of his racket just in the nick of time.
Thank you.
So they're more certain in their reads, the Indonesians, on front court.
9.
Oh, good.
Service
Must have
over.
been absolutely in the
10,
corner.
13.
Oh, yes, now that's well taken. That's the sort of thing that we were looking for in the opening game from Hayakawa. Yeah, really hunting that shuttle at the net. Good rally. Oh, yes. Setiawan again, making the difference.
Service over. 14, 11.
Well left.
Service over. 4, 14. Service over. 15, 12.
Missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration at the end of that rally from
16,
this man,
12.
Hayakawa. He stopped himself from smashing his racket. Oh, service fault called this time on Mohammad Ahsan.
Service over.
Once again,
13,
it was
16.
called for struck above the waist. Yes. Oh, put it away in the end. What was that? 4 attempts? 1, 2, 3 attempts.
3.
Yeah. After the power play from his partner. Yeah, it does emphasise the point we were making earlier, doesn't it? Once you get to the net, you need to be putting it away and putting it away first time. Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
15, 16.
What a return. Oh, I don't believe it. Well,
16,
won the rally in the end.
Keep Endo assist.
And 4 straight points to draw back level. Well, some people may think that I'm being fairly harsh by saying you should be finishing it off first or at the very least second time from the net in men's doubles. But this is the big difference between these two pairs.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you'd rate them, you'd say that Setiawan perhaps was the best net player, the one with the greatest eye of the game, and second, I probably would say that Ahsan is the second best front court player.
Yeah.
And then Hayakawa comes really, really close, but the real problem is that Endo is not that good on the front court. So
service over.
And he's vulnerable on that smash down his forehand side, as we just saw there. You mentioned it in the first game.
So when he's at the net, having a quite nice chance of killing it, you still get away with it way too many times. So the Indonesians survive where they should be punished.
Oh, that was an excellent low serve. Endo could only hit in an upward direction. Look at this. Yeah.
And then, of course, all players can't be equally strong at the front court, and that's perfectly okay, but then you have to be really, really strong in the back court. We've seen a player like Fu Haifeng, who is definitely one of the hardest or most dangerous smashers from the back court. And I even think he's improved his front court skills, but when he started out, he wasn't a really good front court player, but he was excellent at the back court.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to compensate.
Yeah, good point. Well, as far as the Japanese pair are concerned, you sort of feel it's now or never, don't you? 2 points adrift, but equally 2 points from defeat. Oh, it's just gone wide. Yeah.
19.
Now just 1 point in it.
Almost warned for leaving the court there, Endo. Played by Ahsan.
Yeah.
He knows that it's always Hayakawa who comes forward.
Good change of pace. What a rally! Yeah, superb way for the Japanese combination to get back level.
And best rally of the match.
Yeah, superb.
Of course, we don't know what's going to happen here now, but one of the strengths with the Indonesian pair is also that when it's 19-all, they're not afraid to play all out. And they very, very often play their best at the important points.
What a rally. Oh, my goodness.
Service over, 20.
Well,
Match point, 19.
they were at full stretch, weren't they, the Japanese pair? Look, they're out of position and going for a fairly difficult shot there and finding the net. So match point opportunity for the reigning world champions Mohammad Ahsan and Hendra Setiawan. Yeah, first time, and they take their opening group match. The world champions Ahsan and Setiawan against the number 3 seeds Endo and Hayakawa. 21-17, 21-19. 38 minutes. It was tight towards the end of that second game. But as Steen just pointed out, the Indonesians never adverse to going for it in these tight situations. So their confirmation that the Indonesians have won their first group match against the number 3 seeds. 21-17, 21-19. Well, it was a good performance, wasn't it? Of course, the seeding, we should perhaps explain, comes straight from the Destination Dubai Super Series standings, which is just from results in Super Series tournaments, and hence why the Indonesians are not seeded. But they've played well today, and they've won their opening group match in Group A of the men's doubles. So that means that the world champions and the former champions of the Super Series finals played one and won one. Of course, we will see Lee Yongdae and Yu Young-sung playing against Fu Haifeng and Zhang Nang a little later this afternoon. So that's the first of our 6 matches has been completed. It's women's singles up next. Then we'll have that men's doubles from that Group A match again. And then we've got a repeat of the World Championship final in the women's doubles. Then we turn to men's singles and women's singles. So plenty more action to come on day 1 of competition here at the Super Series finals. Well, as far as the former world champion Ratchanok International